Hey everybody, and welcome back to The Shawning. I am Sean, this is The Shawning, and today we are going to be talking about just really disappointing movies. That is the whole topic. Most of the time we say pretty positive, and I don't really bash movies that much. I try not to anyway. However, this whole video is dedicated to movies that aren't necessarily bad in quality, but are just kind of underwhelming, or to me, they just did not deliver. So, let's take a look at some of the most disappointing horror movies I've ever seen. Alrighty, starting off this list, or whatever you want to call it, is definitely going to be 2019's Pet Sematary. Now, these aren't necessarily in order. Again, I don't really like doing orders anyway because I'm not going to remember. And if I write it down, I'm going to be looking at that the whole time. So I'm not really getting anything accomplished. Cemetery 2019 really makes me angry. For multiple reasons. But before I get there, little disclaimer. I'm not saying that Pet Sematary, the remake, is bad or the acting sucks or anything like that, because that's not true. It is a very well put together movie. If you are, not a huge fan of the original, you're probably gonna like it. But if you are a diehard Stephen King fan, you are gonna hate it. And let me tell you why. First off, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to show the entire plot of the movie in the trailer, for everyone to see. No issues. Literally, there was no need for me to even go to the movie theater after that, because they showed you the only real plot twist they could do. Pet Sematary is not a complicated story, so I really don't know why they took it upon themselves to not only, they changed it, cool, be yourself, all that originality, awesome, but why would you show everyone before we even get to watch it? That's the only thing that really ruined the movie for me. When I watched it, I knew what was going to happen, and it just didn't deliver. And I'm sorry, nothing is going to top the original Zelda, and it really didn't look like they tried. Just saying. So, Pet Sematary 2019, absolutely disappointing, but whatever. The next one, or actually, the next two I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to bundle these together because I feel pretty much the same about both of these films, and that would be Fear.com and it would be Stay Alive. Now, the reason why I say these movies are disappointing is, again, not necessarily because they are bad. However, I really hate Fear.com, and I don't like anything about it. Now, the reason I say that they're disappointing is because the story behind both of them is really cool. And I know that Fear.com, it was trying to be edgy, but instead it turned into cheesy, and it did not age well. I 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Personal opinion though. Stay Alive, actually, I used to be terrified of it when I was younger. I wouldn't even watch it all the way through. And then once I got older and into horror, I was like, hey, let's watch it. And the story sounded really cool, because you read the back. And no, it was not cool. I'm sorry, that was horrendous. I would rather, as far as a video game premise goes for a film, I would rather watch, Freddy Krueger's little arcade thing and Freddy's Dead for an entire movie than to have what we got in Stay Alive. I don't know. That's just me. It just did not deliver. Wasn't really that big of a fan. The next one is Hannibal Rising. And the reason that I say this movie is disappointing is because there really is no solid connection between this and the Hannibal Lecter that we all came to know and love. So I really just don't even think they should have done this, because it just did not feel right. That actor did not give me Hannibal Lecter vibes. He was terrifying from the start. And I don't know, I think the reason why I like Hannibal Lecter so much is because it's kind of hard. I don't know, like, you don't necessarily want to consider him a bad guy because he's also like a gentleman, and it's just, I don't know, it's a weird story there. And I don't know, in Hannibal Rising, he was just super vicious and, I don't know, really creepy. So that's just really why I personally thought Hannibal Rising was disappointing. I thought that overall as a film, it was a really good movie, and I enjoyed the movie itself. But I mean, you have to compare it to the other films because they added it too. So I mean, I just, yeah, not a fan. Hannibal Rising, good movie, just don't really watch it with Silence of the Lambs or Hannibal or Red Dragon or any of those films in the back of your head. Just watch it for what it is, and you'll probably enjoy it. The next two, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for, but I feel like I also have great explanations for each. Next one is Devil's Rejects. Now, a lot of people like this one the most out of the trilogy. I haven't watched 3 from Hell yet. I'll get to it eventually. I just have to... it's not super high on my priority list. I just watched Devil's Rejects recently for the first time. Now, I love House of a Thousand Corpses, and I really think Rob Zombie did an amazing job on House of a Thousand Corpses, and I'm not saying he didn't with Devil's Rejects. I'm just saying it doesn't have the same feel that House of a Thousand Corpses had. I don't know if it's because maybe they waited too long for the sequel, or maybe just the feel of the movie was off. And I've spoke about this before. I don't know in which video or what it was, but it just felt like Devil's Rejects was not on the same level as House of a Thousand Corpses, as far as visually and just different aspects of it. Is it a good movie? Yeah, absolutely. Would I say it's better than House of a Thousand Corpses? No. Again, that's my opinion. But I think just overall, it just didn't live up to what I was expecting it to be. And I also didn't really understand all of the hype behind it. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve hype and a fan base and all that. It just, I don't know. To me, it wasn't all that in a bag of chips, but to each their own. And that's totally okay. So I lied. I actually have another one on here that I forgot about. It was just at the top of the page because I was writing fast. So, 2 more. This next one is a movie that I've been very vocal about not liking, and that's Annabelle. I'm not a huge fan of spin-offs to begin with. I don't think they're going to be as strong, and Annabelle proves my point perfectly. Everyone was very excited about Annabelle. I remember when it was getting hyped to come out and all that good stuff, and I mean, people were pretty excited about it because Annabelle is super creepy and everyone loves The Conjuring. So naturally, everyone was like, let's go watch Annabelle, only to find out that it's 25% of the movie that The Conjuring is at best. I mean, it's just very watered down, and as these spin-offs keep going, they only get more watered down. And The Nun is a perfect example. I mean, people have been very vocal about how watered down and bland The Nun is. Well, I believe that it all started with Annabelle. And the only one that really skipped that was Annabelle Creation, in which I think was better than the first one. And I've seen a lot of people who agree with that as well. But I don't know what it was about the original Annabelle that necessarily bothers me. I think it's a decent movie overall. I mean, it's a nice scary movie. If you look at it as just like a scary doll movie without comparison to The Conjuring. And that's definitely difficult to do because The Conjuring is probably one of the most popular horror films in the past 10 years for sure. Or 20. Because it's older than 10 years now. But I mean, I really think that these spin-offs are just going to get worse and worse until they actually devote time into them. And hopefully that'll happen. So the official last one on the list, and I'm pretty sure a large majority of people will agree with this one. No hate to Mr. Rob Zombie, but it's going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, Rob Zombie is not all to blame for this because I know that his vision was not fully executed, and, you know, the Hollywood executives and all that yada yada, they got involved and messed it up and whatever. I would have personally liked to see what his vision was and what he wanted, you know, for his saga or whatever you want to call it. But that's not what we got. We got Halloween 2 with this white horse and a talking Michael Myers. And just saying those two things out loud and even having them associated with the Halloween franchise is just so absurd to me. I mean, I understand that we wanted to take the concept and, you know, twist it, make it, you know, make it unique. Okay, well, we already did that when we completely humanized Michael Myers for a good 30-45 minutes of the first one. Okay? We don't need necessarily all these changes and crazy far out thoughts like, dude, he's a psychopath that just kills people. Let it be that. And then I feel like they just tried to put way too much into that movie, and it was not put together well. And I mean, even overall as a movie, I still am disappointed when I rewatch it. I still do not like the fact that they had him talk. And no offense, but I really just don't connect with Dr. Loomis in either of these films at all. And to be quite honest with you, I really don't like Laurie Strode's character in this one. I liked her in the first one, and in the second one, I don't know. Just not for me. So, I don't know. Rob Zombie's Halloween, I know a lot of people have an issue with that. Not the first one, but the second one. And a lot of people have an issue with the first one. I personally don't. It's not like my favorite one. But, I mean, it's fun to watch. At Halloween, I get excited because, you know, I have my little Rob Zombie-a-thon. And, you know, it's all cool. However, overall, it was disappointing. But that is just some of the most disappointing movies that I've ever watched. There's plenty more, so I'll be doing more of these definitely. But until then, please drop in the comments some movies that I need to watch. Or if you have some cool, you know, recommendations of a ranking you'd like to see or whatever it may be, also drop that in the comments below. Please also do not forget to like and subscribe. I do have more stuff coming soon. I know this video is coming late, but that's because my work schedule has been whack and I was so tired, so I did not get to record last week. So, whatever. However, I do have a couple videos lined up, so exciting things coming soon. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Stay safe and keep it creepy.